We're going to bring in our GMA legal analyst, Dan Abrams, here in the studio with us. And in Atlanta, Nancy Grace, the host of Nancy Grace on HLN. And Nancy, did the prosecution do its job enough to convict here, do you think?
They absolutely did, and the defense actually helped them along with Johnston's own words. Back when it all went down, of course, she did not take the stand. That was not a surprise, but she gave an audio recording which came back to haunt her at trial. It was played in front of the jury, but then the defense tried to come up with a big dial M for murder moment straight out of Alfred Hitchcock, claiming that there had been a switcheroo with the keys. But as it turned out, their whole premise fell flat in closing arguments, and I think they lost a lot of ground with that.
Dan, you had said from the beginning that it was going to be very hard to get a conviction here, though.
I thought it was going to be harder than his trial, right? Because in his trial, remember, he's the one accused of actually doing the shooting. So you had evidence with regard to him of a gun. You had evidence with regard to him where someone who made the key. Remember right. The key is absolutely crucial in this case because there was a brand new, just made key left at the crime scene in the lock. So whoever did this had recently gotten a copy.
Right, in the door.
Right, in the door. They'd recently made a copy of the key. And there was someone who testified in his trial saying, yeah, I'd seen him in there having keys made. So his trial was an easier one in my view than hers. With that said, I think there's a lot of evidence against her. There's a lot of motive evidence in particular.
And Nancy, you alluded to this just a moment ago. Her own attorneys are saying, look, she's a thief. She's a liar. She's not a good person. How does that play? But, given all that, she still did not she didn't murder him. He wasn't a part of it. How does all that play when your attorney is saying those kind of things about you?
Well, it doesn't play because that's tired. It's old. She's a thief. She's a liar. She's a cheat, but she's not a killer. That's not really a good defense. And when you look at if you don't get away from the circumstantial evidence. Now, Dan will argue, like many defense attorneys, that it's just circumstantial evidence, but the judge tells the jury circumstantial evidence is as valuable as direct evidence, such as an eyewitness. And here we see her writing a big fat check, forging it for $250,000 the day before he's murdered, and it actually clears while he's cold there on the kitchen floor. $250 grand.
Nancy's confusing a bad case with a bad defense. Meaning, they don't have a great case here, the defense.
No, they go hand in hand.
No, they don't. The bottom line is, are you saying it wasn't a mistake?
They both stink.
Robin's question to you was, do you think it was a mistake for them to make all these concessions, to say she's a thief, she's a bad person? They had to. They had no choice but to do that. Now, that's a bad case. That's not a bad defense.
They could take a guilty plea and tell the truth. They both are bad.
Well, so
and the defense attorney
right.
got twisted up in his own argument in front of the jury and was embarrassed by the prosecution. So long story short, she writes the bad check. She stands to get a $1 million life insurance policy. And then after he's shot, she calls her husband, her first husband of many, to the stand. The state calls him, and he goes, oh, yeah, it was really weird. She took her son to a soccer game the night before, and he got a trophy at the end of the game, but she left. What mom in her right mind leaves her little boy's soccer game when he's getting a trophy at the end to go do a murder? She couldn't stay 30 minutes extra to see the trophy? No, she had to go kill her boyfriend, people.
One of the things I'll agree with Nancy on is the fact that part of the defense here is she wouldn't have been so dumb as to blank, right? She has a master's degree. She has all this education. She wouldn't have been so dumb.
There are people who do
dumb things all the time. People,
why do you keep saying she's got a master's
degree? I was saying that her lawyer was saying that she has all this experience, etc. And the point is that she never would have been so dumb as to. Almost never works because so often criminal defendants do things that are that dumb.
We'll see what happens.
Guys, she even faked out GMA. This woman does not have an MBA. In fact, her husband says he doesn't even think she went to high school. She lied about everything.
Fine.
I guess that.
Wow, left you
Yeah,
speechless.
yeah.
All right, Nancy, we'll leave it at that, and we'll see what the jury decides. Nancy, thank you. Have a good weekend there in Atlanta. Dan?
Thanks,
Bye,
Ron.
guys.
Yeah. See ya.
Take care.